Water is a vital resource for both human beings and for other organisms from our planet, since it's the key to a stable functioning of the environment and the specimens that live in it. Water is essential for climate regulation and natural ecosystems. Therefore, it is an essential factor for the conservation of plant and animal life on Earth. We fully depend on it, and although its most obvious function is for consumption, this is not the only role it has. Currently, water plays a very important role in terms of industries due to its constant use to originate and sustain prosperity and economic growth through activities such as power generation, fishing, tourism, agriculture, and transportation. Although the total amount of water on Earth has remained the same over time, its presence today is especially susceptible to climate change. Water pollution and water scarcity represent a threat to the quality of life and human health. This is why natural water resources such as lakes, seas, rivers, and groundwater are intangible, and considering the current situation, they desperately need measures to be preserved.
Mexico has in its territory about 0.1% of fresh water on a global scale, as well as a total of 471.5 billion cubic meters of available water, considering the international trade it has on this product, which classifies it as a state of little water availability. In terms of use, this resource, besides being the central element of environmental policies, is also a key factor in development and economic policies, so it should be recognized as a situation that requires strategy and national security. 77% of the total water in Mexico is used for agriculture, 14% is used for public supply, 5% for electricity, and another 4% for industry. Despite the fact that the industrial sector occupies only 4% of the total water, the pollution produced by this area is 3 times of what 100 million people are capable of producing. The industrial activity that generates the most polluting emissions is the breeding of aquatic species, animals, and plants. The second on the list is the sugar industry, which is the main producer of organic pollutants, and followed by this are the oil and chemical sectors, which generate the highest quantity of pollutants with greater environmental impact.
The overexploitation of water sources itself also leads to deterioration in the quality of this resource, especially due to the invasion of water with minerals and salts harmful to health caused by pumping work and water residues from agriculture and cities. These aquifers are used to supply water to our homes despite the fact that they may be contaminated. This natural resource needs to travel several kilometers through pipes to reach its destination, and many families store it in dirty or unkept water tanks or cisterns, thus making it inevitable that it picks up impurities such as microorganisms, bacteria, and viruses in its path. The quality of water may vary by state. While it may not be a common practice to drink tap water in Mexico, it is still used for purposes such as washing dishes or clothes, showering, or even giving it to our pets. Therefore, it is vital to make sure that it is as clean as possible. To do this, one of the simplest and most efficient methods is through filters.
A water filter is a device that removes from water unwanted chemical compounds, organic and inorganic materials, and biological contaminants. It can work through a physical barrier or through a chemical or biological process. Its main objective is to supply clean water by reducing contaminants such as suspended particles, parasites, fungi, and bacteria. There are different methods of water filtration. The activated carbon method is one of the simplest but most effective methods. It occupies carbon particles with greater absorption capacity. Contaminants in the water adhere on contact, thus resulting in clean water. Some benefits of this method are that it is able to get rid of the odor of the water and the chemicals that are the most harmful to human health. Reverse osmosis purification is another popular method, along with activated carbon filters. In these filters, membranes with small pores are used to intercept the passage of solids soluble in water.
Another filtration system is the ion exchange, which implies the use of ionic resins in the form of spherical grains. It can reduce salinity, disqualify, or remove nitrates from the water. It also offers advantages that an activated carbon filter doesn't, so which is why it is common to combine these two methods. There is also the filter with ultraviolet light, in which the water is purified thanks to the pulse of light that attack the present bacteria. The main drawback of this system is that it doesn't take the solids into account, so it is normally accompanied by other types of mechanisms that use chemicals, mesh, or membrane. Now we are going to show you how to make a homemade filter with one of the methods we mentioned above, the activated carbon. The materials we needed were a bottle, activated carbon, rocks, gravel, coarse sand, and fine sand and cotton. With the bottle upside down, which was previously cut from the opposite side of the lid, we started by putting the cotton, making sure that a layer was formed that would not let anything through. Later on, we added the activated carbon on the cotton, then the fine sand, then the coarse sand. In that order, next we added the gravel, and finally the rocks, finishing our filter. After that, we took some water from a pond which had like a greenish color, and we added like some dirt and sand to make it look more dirty. After half an hour of waiting for the water to pass through the filter, a few drops began to fall. The process lasted a couple of hours, and we ended up with a container with transparent and clean water, which although it cannot be used for drinking, it can be used for cleaning or other purposes.